Okay, this is Kurt Wakefield. Here's my topical presentation on, like I decided to do it on collaborations. One of my frustrations with online learning is the fact that you, there's seems to be a lack of collaboration. Now I know that every learning model has some type of a collaboration. For example, if you went to Canvases, which I use, or Blackboard, there's a collaboration like a Google Doc where you can get on and collaborate. But I wanted to look at what was out there, what was the technology out there currently. Um, you got me thinking because let me go to this one first. Knowledge Forum was one of the brainchilds of Scartamea and Brighter. If I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is kind of older stuff. You can almost tell by the things that you see here on the screen. Just even the learning management system looks quite archaic in a way, and it has a good kind of base where it talks about how knowledge building can happen. I don't know if anybody's used this. I know when I was in Dr. Nussbaum's class we used this, but as we used it, it facilitated a great discussion. I don't know if it was used to its fullest extent, and it did seem, like I said, a little old. You can kind of see there. You can put, as you look over here, you have my theory, I need to understand new information, this theory cannot explain a better theory, and putting our knowledge together, and those different things brought together a great discussion. But I was wondering if there was any more to this kind of thing since this was created, I would even want to say years and years ago. And so I started just thinking about it and wanted to do this. I'm by no way an expert in this field. In fact, I'm looking for um, my classmates and to help me understand if what is out there as far as learning management systems to help collaborate, and not just a thread discussion, but more than that, where you can build knowledge together. Now, of course, there's lots of different things. Like there's Adobe Connect, where you can. I don't know if anybody used this in the learning management system. It seems to work with, as it shows on the bottom here, Blackboard and Moodle and Sakai, if that's how you say it. It seems that there are a lot of different ways that you use Adobe Connect and use video chat and those kind of things. But I was looking for more of something that you could use where you see and visualize the discussion, and it kind of puts it all together and you build knowledge that way. And so there's lots of different learning models. I was looking up so many. Here's just a few. I think someone in class actually mentioned Edmodo, but there's Google Docs, Wikispaces, PBWorks, Ning, Classroom 2.0, ThinkQuest, Yugma, Smartboard Revolution, Creative Commons. Those are just to name a few, but there's so many out there. And so once again, in the comments of this, I would invite you to please list anything that you guys have seen after you watch this presentation, or software out there that has been developed that helps collaboration happen in this way. One of my frustrations goes along with this blog writer on online learning insights. She states, let's face it, the learning management platforms, Moodle, Blackboard, as they exist today, are restrictive, limiting for both the learner and online educator. The flexibility, value, and learning potential available with Web 2.0 tools far exceed the teaching limitations that exist within the LMS platform. And so I wanted to understand what was out there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. And hopefully I'll be able to give you guys a sense of my vision of what I want to see, and if you have any thoughts or insights on what is out there that you can help me understand this better, that would be great. So let's see. One thing that I did see out there that was kind of matching what I wanted is something called a mind. Maybe if I extended, if I can extend this out. Yeah, there's the URL mindomo.com. And on this you can see kind of more of a collaborative experience where you can have different themes, different layouts. You can map relationships in different ways. Let's see if I can get that to work. Map relationships that way and kind of connect ideas together rather than a linear threaded discussion. So I liked this one a lot, and I wanted to play around with this. I haven't used this very much, but I'd love any feedback if you've used this before. on what it was like and if it would work. I know you can, of course, share. You can publish it to the web. You could also invite people via email in that way, and then that way they can collaborate and come together to build knowledge. So once again, as we go along, and I apologize if this is scattered a little bit, but collaboration that leads to building knowledge. One of my, as I've stated before, frustrations comes with the fact that it seems like there's so much to a college class. And I guess this presentation focuses more on college learning, online education via college, not K through 12. But one of the frustrations comes as you look at how sometimes you go so fast and skim over so much information, you don't have time to really delve deep down in and get into real learning, I guess is what I would call that. And so one of the mediums I've used before is a Prezi. I'm sure most are familiar with Prezis, but I wanted to just show, I don't think that the Prezi is the best way to collaborate, although can be used as a collaboration tool, so you can invite other people to come. But I wanted to just kind of show my vision of what I wanted a learning management system to do. And so I have collaboration potential here. Let me go to present mode. Okay. As we look at this, what I did is I took our discussion on interactivity, one of the articles that we studied a couple weeks ago about collaboration, and I made it into more of a document. Let me see, you see that there, where I basically summarized and put into different categories the different things that we talked about. We have the instructor contribution, we have facilitating interaction, the role of the learner, strength of online discussions, the difference between face-to-face and online, meaningful interaction, teacher training, assessments of interactivity online, learning management systems, and weaknesses of online discussion. And with each of these, I took the comments that were in the threaded discussion and inserted them in each of these categories that I came up as I read the discussion. That caused me to synthesize and analyze the information, pour it into there in that way. So kind of my vision is if we could go beyond just the limited, what I would say limited discussion, where we took and analyzed and were able to synthesize and build knowledge off of each other, I see that as a great potential and enhancing our online learning. Obviously this is fairly complex. Once again, it wouldn't be for K through 12, but it would be more for college age students. But one of the thoughts that I have is having a student take the discussion after it's been posted and synthesizing it, maybe put it into a map like this, summarizing it, highlighting the main points, and then having other people build upon that. You could also, in this kind of situation here, the instructor could take the comments, put them in a situation, and then assign each student, okay, you have facilitated interaction, give us the summation of what was talked about and the main points from each of those things. And so once again, we're continually building on knowledge. Now obviously the logistics of this are kind of probably a nightmare, because it would take a lot of work for the instructor, and it would also take a lot of work for each student. But I just wanted to just look at the potential of collaboration and knowledge building in the online forum in a way that hasn't been looked at too much in that way. And so I combine, if you go a little closer into each of these here, you can see, obviously it's fairly small, but you can get into it where you can see each of the comments that were made. Under facilitating interaction, I just kind of grouped them together, and one could easily come and look at this. The reason why I like this format is because I like personally to see the big picture of what was talked about. You notice that this looks a lot different than a threaded discussion. It becomes more clear, more concise about what was discussed, and you can then go in and understand better what was actually learned, what we actually talked about there. So obviously, once again, a little complicated, but that's kind of what I would like to see in collaboration. And perhaps, this Mindomo is one thing that you could use to collaborate in a class and brainstorm ideas and put things together in a way that hasn't been done before. But I just think that there needs to be more collaboration going on. I was also speaking with another student and discussing this with them, and we discussed how it often seems like it's not necessarily the learning management system, whether it's Canvas or WebCT or whatever it is, or the wiki that we're on with Dr. Hartley. It doesn't seem to matter necessarily that, but the most important thing would be to kind of train, or the instruction that you give to your students. Each student comes in with a different kind of idea or understanding of how online should work, and so um, it would be helping them understand what collaboration is and what knowledge building is, and then setting up the learning management system so that it functions properly. So I'll be honest, sometimes in this class I'll read all the comments, but I won't, make a comment until, let's say, Saturday night, end of the week. After I make my comment, I'm done. I don't look at it again. I know I probably shouldn't tell Dr. Hartley this, but there are times when I maybe would even ask a question, but I don't go back and check on it. And so some type of one thing that I've developed in one of my courses that I'm teaching online is that I make everybody post by a Tuesday, and then they have to respond after Tuesday to so that they can read all the comments, and then they'd have to come back again and look at what they've done. But then you structure it maybe too much, and it doesn't allow for that common flow of information that can come as they are just spontaneously responding. So those are some of the pros and cons of this. But an instructor, to get the collaboration to happen, would have to train the students in some way so that they could understand what was expected of them, and then the learning management system would have to be set up by the instructor to facilitate this type of learning. So I know I've presented lots of ideas. I'd be very interested in comments, suggestions, even critiques of this concept of collaboration. Now I know collaboration is a big deal, probably a little bit of a buzzword or cliche, but I think that it's needed in order to facilitate online learning. So please give me your thoughts or feedback in the comments. And I guess if I was truly doing this, I would have set up some type of awesome resource for you to go on there and collaborate to discuss this problems. But I'm still learning. So thanks so much.